Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial, and today I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone and draw a clone trooper for you, as well as talk a little bit about how I draw armor. So starting off, I've sped the video up because I've spent about an hour drawing and I don't want to kind of make you sit around and, you know, listen to me babble on for an hour. So what I'm doing is I'm just starting out drawing a dude with, cutesy proportions, something a little bit shorter, squished. His head is, 3 times the size that a normal human head should be in comparison to his body. And the next thing I did, you see me doing, is just for the sake of explaining, is I gave him a full black suit. And when building armor, you want to kind of keep in mind what's underneath it. So that was my way of indicating, see that I'm constructing these armor pieces on top of this character. Normally, I would skip this step, but just as a visual element, I thought it'd be pretty cool to go in and show you. So what I did is I'm blocking out the pieces of the armor, and since the clone troopers just have all white, it's fairly simple. But at the same time, to show the form, it gets a little bit complex. You kind of really start relying on different values. So you'll see me playing around with those, as well as, again, tweaking the different proportions of the mask, the visor, all the little ear pieces on the sides. And I have the reference that I used for the image on the right. You see that my clone trooper looks nothing alike, and that's because he's facing a different direction. And that's the whole point of a reference, is you don't necessarily copy the image, but you take from it and then you apply what you need. If I was sketching this from my head, I'm sure I would miss a lot of the different cues that that I was able to capture while having the reference. So here I am trying to put in some sort of reflection. You see that I now have darker values on the cheekbones, which are a slight indent. I kind of exaggerated them compared to the reference that you see. Going along the chest, the upper abdomen area of the chest piece, I think it's a little bit big, but I kind of chop it down a bit, and I'm adding in those 3 white blocks that sit below the chest piece, and they're going to be a little bit of a darker white, or a grayer white, or a lighter, darker gray. I don't know, however you want to look at it. So I'm going in and adding the bicep armor covers and the forearms, putting in the belt, and going in and blocking in the legs. I kind of rushed through this piece, this as opposed to the epic Star Wars battle scene that I did. This one, dude, took an hour, and that whole image took about 15 hours. And I would say that there's only a couple of detailed characters in that image. Obviously, I don't have to worry about things like rim lighting or any of those things here. I kind of incorporate it, and you'll see me doing that later. But hopefully, you can kind of see the process to make armor. For me, to make armor, I do very similar things that I would do with scales, except it's not a repetitive pattern. Armor blocks typically are a little bit more square, or geometric, whatever term you want to use. And not only that, but they tend to either be more reflective, or if you have a more matte design, then you're working with something like something less shiny. And if you've seen my kind of tutorial or tips for drawing scales, the same concept applies here. You'll make indents, you'll highlight them on the opposite side if it's an indent, and then if it's an extrusion, or if it's something that's popping out, you'll shade it on the opposite side. So here I am trying to show that there's a layer of paint. This is a lot more visible if you have a different color of armor. So say on Boba Fett, he's got a green helmet. You show a little bit of that gray underneath, and visually, the brain automatically, assumes, oh, cool, that's armor. You can see the metal plating underneath. So that's another thing that you could do. If you're drawing medieval style armor, then you definitely have to look at references of knight's armor and try to apply that because they have really complex reflections going on. And this is a very simplified, cartoony version of a clone trooper that, fits my style. Here you see me using a little bit of the smudge tools. Not a huge fan of the tools, but I just thought, why not kind of throw them in there. Adding a little bit of detail to the belt. I tried to take away a lot from the original design, but kind of keep the main sort of focal things to make sure that the design stays true. And here's the final result. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you learned something from it. And stay tuned for more videos in the future. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.